The disputed Dakota Access Pipeline is back on the agenda. U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive action on Tuesday to advance the construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline, which was delayed through legal disputes and months of protests. The proposed Dakota Access Pipeline would stretch 1,172 miles through North Dakota, South Dakota, Iowa, and Illinois. The pipeline would be able to transport up to 470,000 barrels of crude oil a day from a vast oil reserve detected in the U.S. portion of the Bakken shale oil fields. The pipeline is complete except for the portion near the Standing Rock Sioux tribe's reservation in North Dakota. The tribe has been protesting the construction of the pipeline, claiming it would put the reservation's water supply at risk of oil spills and harm sacred sites. Many oil and natural gas pipelines already exist in North Dakota, with many passing through the Missouri River. Dakota Access argues that the proposed pipeline would not pose risk to the water supply, as it would be at a depth of at least 95 feet below the bottom of Lake Oahe and parallel to the existing Northern Border Pipeline, which has been operating safely for 35 years and is only a few feet below the lake bed. Another controversial pipeline, the Keystone XL pipeline, was also given the green light by President Trump. The proposed pipeline would stretch nearly 1,200 miles across Montana, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. Here are some more stories about protests against the Dakota Access Pipeline.
Activists say protester may lose her arm because of a police grenade, but the cops tell a different story. 21-year-old Sophia Wolanski's life changed in a bad way at 4:30 a.m. on Monday after her arm was severely injured by what her dad and Dakota Access Pipeline protesters claim was a concussion grenade thrown by North Dakota cops. Lawyer Wayne Wolanski says the grenade exploded near his daughter Sophia's left forearm and did some major damage. Photos posted to social media appear to show Sophia and her injury after the incident. Describing the extent of her injury in a statement, Sophia's dad said the blast destroyed all of her left forearm muscle, soft tissue, nerves and arteries between the elbow and wrist, plus some of the bone. Sadly, it's unknown if doctors can restore functional use of the limb. They deny using grenades and instead suggest Sophia may have been wounded while protesters were rigging up their own explosives. And that claim might not entirely be without merit, as police say they found improvised explosives after investigating a blast on Monday morning. At 3 a.m, the cops say they spotted two men and a woman trying to cover what they were doing behind a makeshift barricade near a burnt-out vehicle on Backwater Bridge. They refused to come out, so police opened fire with non-lethal rounds to drive them out. Police then saw more protesters approaching, including one rolling silver cylinders. Police say there was an explosion, and protesters pulled a woman from underneath the vehicle. Authorities investigated the area afterwards and found propane tanks rigged as improvised explosive devices, as well as slingshots and rocks. According to reports, police are investigating if the explosives are connected with the injuries sustained by a female protester. There have been several run-ins with security and authorities since the Dakota Access Pipeline protest began in April this year. However, things turned violent late last month during confrontations between riot police and protesters.
White hipsters treating Standing Rock protests like Burning Man. Thousands of Native American and environmental activists have been gathered at an encampment just north of the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation in order to fight the Dakota Access Pipeline. But now they have a bigger problem: white hipsters. Apparently, Standing Rock has seen a sudden influx of white protesters who are treating the demonstration more like the Burning Man festival. Looks like some of these hipsters are acting like it's a vacation, complete with drugs and alcohol. Activists also requested that white demonstrators stop busting out their guitars and hippie drums around the campfires and breaking out into song. Protesters of the lighter persuasion have also been seen taking advantage of donations sent in for the cause. One bro was even seen turning down tap water to spend donations on fluoride-free water. Maybe it's time for these hipsters to leave the pepper spray, water cannons, and rubber bullets to the grown-ups. Standing Rock protesters claim major victory over Dakota Access Pipeline. Chalk went up for the Standing Rock Sioux tribe in its battle against Energy Transfer Partners after the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers said on Sunday it has decided to deny a permit for the construction of a key section of the Dakota Access Pipeline. The Army said it would not approve an easement necessary to allow the $3.8 billion project to cross under Lake Oahe in North Dakota, which pretty much halts construction on the nearly finished 1,172-mile oil pipeline. Alternative routes will now be explored. The controversial route has been the subject of months of protests by thousands of indigenous and environmental activists, and more recently, hundreds of veterans. Who have argued the pipeline threatens a vital clean water source. Amid sweltering heat and blistering cold over the past months, the protesters have endured pepper spray, water cannons, and rubber bullets. The easement decision marks a stunning victory for the protesters, but unfortunately, the war is far from over.